Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At Phirst Contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention.
Phirst Contention, what is going on? What's happening? Your boy Marv Banks back in the building. Of course, my main man Ty also seen it. Ty, what's going on today?
Salutations, folks. Another PC installment. Bienvenidos. That means welcome.
Yes, please come into the set. As you know how we like to do, just sit back in the barbershop and talk about what's going on in the sports world today. But Ty, we talking about the Royals winning the World Series. Thabo, Sefolosha in the situation that he's going through. But first, let's get a fresh look at the main man, Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is cooking, Marv.
We sport on deals, on court.
The Warriors are cooking, Marv. Let's digress from the Warriors and focus on the star himself, Stephen Curry. Marv, can Steph Curry be slowed down?
Of course he can be slowed down.
Oh.
The answer to that is of course. You just step on one of those ankles that's not so good that he's working with, and he can be slowed down. But man, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to limit to look, he can't get 40. He could get 25, but he can't get 40 because right now, he's cooking. Steph Curry is over there cooking right now, Ty.
With the rock, boy. I don't believe he can be slowed down. I do not believe he can be slowed down. If there's one person who has a chance, I think it will be Russell Westbrook. I think he has the agility, the speed, to cover Steph. Now the question is, Russ's offense is spotty at best already. So if he puts all that energy into guarding Steph, how's it going to affect his team's outcome? I know he has KD, but he doesn't like to pass the ball. But all in all, man, this dude Steph is like that man's mad.
Look, like
that ain't no punchline. He mad.
Like Steph then turned into like grown man Steph, because he's growing out the facial hair. He's part of the movement and everything. He went from babyface assassin to look. You don't want to see me when I'm angry, and
he's out like me when I'm angry.
He's out here putting up like astronomical numbers. His PER before yesterday's game was like at a 50. Put that in perspective. Jordan's best was 36.
You talking about the GOAT?
Jordan's best was 36.
After a full season, right?
After a full was 36.
Again, perspective, sample size, okay? That means Steph's got 5 down. We still got
50.
80.
50.
We still got 82
50.
games to go.
50. You know, here 50. His PER was 50.
We sport on deals, on court.
But the real question is he the best player in the game right now, Ty?
Right now?
Right now, like today.
This moment.
If you're starting a team, would you draft him today? Is he that best player right now?
If I'm not mistaken, Marv, I believe we did a basketball draft, and he was on my team. Yes, absolutely. Not only is he the best player in the league right now, he's angry, and he's entertaining. Who doesn't like to watch Steph? Obviously, you got the king in Cleveland, but my man looks like Larry Bird at the tail end of his career. So with the king down, with KD coming back off of that plantar fasciitis, it's got to be Steph. It's hands down Steph. And I know you're not going to disagree with me. It's hands down Steph. If you disagree, I would love to see what you guys say. It's Steph. Steph's the best player in the league right now, Mark.
Yo, look, listen. I think last week's show, I think you disrespected him a little bit by saying that you would choose the Clippers to win it all. I chose the Spurs. At least they got a championship. I chose the Spurs. But I agree with you in this. Yes, he's the best player in the game. But LeBron has taken his team to 5 straight NBA Finals. We could probably just say 6 because there's nobody in the East that's going to slow down Cleveland. So
Lord of mercy.
Let's just say 6. But, it's LeBron. Now, he has the no headband. thing going on right now. I don't know if he's using some of that Carlos Bruiser spray on.
It's best to just stay away from that.
But I'm going to have to go with LeBron right now for the time.
You going LeBron right now?
Right. I mean, it's Steph, then it's LeBron.
Come on, son.
Then LeBron.
Why you always lying? Why you always lying?
It's close, Ty. It's close. Look, listen. Now, the things that Steph is doing is, look, it's one of a kind. Like, the man is shooting from half court then walking back on defense. I've never seen anything like this. And it's going in all net. Like, he's splashing by himself. He's not using Klay Thompson at all.
We sport on deals, on court.
This team as a whole, doing some good things. Steve Kerr still recovering from that back injury. You've got Luke Walton, out there coaching the squad, and they're still putting up numbers. They're still winning convincingly, not to mention their first 5 games were against Western Conference playoff teams. Can anyone slow down the Warriors as a whole, Marvin?
Like I said before, I think you disrespected the Warriors last week by picking Clippers to come out the West.
It's hard to repeat, man.
Look, I think you disrespect. I think they heard what you was talking about, Ty. So, and I picked the Spurs because I was like, LaMarcus Aldridge. I can't go against Pop. But let me say this: they smacked the Grizzlies by 50.
Jeez.
50. With ease. I'm not going to change my pick right now, but I am kind of just like leaning over to the side. You seen that Instagram post with Homer going into the bushes with, with the Spurs. They come back out with a different jersey. I'm kind of
into the background.
I'm kind of leaning
into the background.
I'm kind of leaning that way, Ty. I'm kind of leaning that way right now. So
you already talked about how I picked the Clippers.
Yep, and they play this week.
And they play
this
tomorrow,
week.
this week. Yep. So I will be watching. I don't want to back off my pick. I jumped ship last year. I jumped all over. I said if there was ever a jump ship team that could win the title, it's this team. But now that they've won, the target was on their back last year because they were so good. This is a different target. This is a hotter target when you're the champion. I got to believe that Kerr not being down at the onset is going to do something. I have to believe that playing in the West is going to count for something. Right now, they can't be sold out. I don't know.
After a week, you changed. So you changed your pick after a week?
I'm not saying I'm changing my pick right now. I'm just saying I don't want to play these guys, especially at Oracle. Lord, no, don't play them at Oracle.
Don't play them at the big Lord,
please
no,
don't do it.
Yeah, that too.
We sport on deals, on court.
Well, Kansas City Royals won the World Series after I picked the Mets to win it all.
Who'd I pick, Marvin?
You picked the Royals.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, so you got that. You got that one right. What impressed you with the World Series victory?
I'm gonna keep it real, Marvin. I watched 2.5 games. But what impressed me is, again, do not count out a team that has tasted defeat. I told you, man, after last year, they're going to come back mad. They're going to be angry. And you don't go through all this time having to live with yourself. Think about, what if I did this? What if I did that? They showed out this year, okay? They said, I'm not going to be the reason that we don't do it. They dropped one game, but, man, when you score 3 runs an inning, 4 runs an inning, 5 runs in an inning in a deciding game 5, I'm impressed, man, the way they put the points up. Listening.
The Mets bullpen kind of collapsed at the end on a couple of these games.
Hey, you was doing a whole lot of name dropping last week.
But we'll touch on that in a few minutes. But what was impressive was the comeback victories. Like you said, they put up 5 runs in, I think, the 12th in Game 5 to close it out. I turned away. When I figured they was up 2-0 and in the 9th and the 8th, I was like, oh, this game's over with. Come to find out that the Royals came back, and they did it in a couple of games in the World Series as well. I believe Game 3 and also Game 1 as well, Game 2 as well. So, I mean, for them to keep coming back like they have, I mean, that's impressive. That's very impressive.
We sport on deals, on court.
Comeback kids, the Royals of Kansas City. Now the question is, did the Royals really win this World Series? Or did the Mets just blow?
The Mets lost it. That's what happened. Listen. When you have all those pitchers, Martz, Harvey, Solengrad, I'm missing somebody, DeGrom.
Doesn't matter. Didn't get it done.
Look, when you have those starting pitchers and they pitch deep for you, look, all you got to do is come in, get your little 3 outs, do your job, and that's it. Get them the victory and do your job. But no, the Mets had to make this thing a little bit more interesting than what it needs to be. Personally, the Mets lost this because they had the better pitching staff, they had the better hitters, I think they had the better manager, I think they got the better city, I think they got the better color, I think they got the better mascot.
What did this become personal?
Hey, look, they got the better food, even though Kansas City barbecue is pretty good, but still, New York pizza is better. The Mets lost this for the whole state of New York. The whole East Coast, they lost this. So the Mets lost this, Ty. The Mets. Typical New York Mets. As soon as you give them life, you know what they do? They turn to the Jets. Jets. Mets and Jets. As soon as you give them a little credit, look, the Mets lost this, man.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
The Royals won it.
Whatever.
I already said this is the team that tasted defeat last year. So they're on a mission this year, and they fulfilled their mission, okay? Don't count out a team that has that taste of defeat in their tongue. Don't like it. I'm coming back. Coming for the W. Not to mention whenever they were down, get up, I get down, get up. They kept coming back. So, man, the heart of the Royals, man. Shout out to the Royals. They won this.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways.
Came into the season with 1 goal, and they accomplished it. So
I think all the other teams come in with 1 goal.
Well, when you just lost the World Series, you come in with 1 goal and a half.
Anyways.
It's like, extra.
You sound foolish. You sound foolish.
Well, I sound right, just like I was.
We sport on deals, on court.
They didn't get a lot of viewership that I thought they was going to be gaining. And I know the big thing right now is baseball is losing out a lot of fans. Mm-hmm. So, Ty, what is the biggest issue with people watching baseball? What do you think the biggest problem is?
Similar to the NBA, we wonder how much ratings and how much viewership you can get for these small market teams. You see the OKCs, you see the Spurs doing well in smaller markets. If you don't have a big, sexy name, it's not going to draw the right ratings. The Cubs, when the Cubs finally made it to the playoffs, that was one of the highest rated, NLCS games in a long time. One, bat flipping, okay? Let them flip their bats. This is entertainment, okay? It's only entertainment, as Jay-Z would say. Let them flip their bats. Let them celebrate, okay? We got to get rid of these rules. You guys finally got replay. Everyone's ahead of you. Everybody's ahead of you, okay? People stopped watching baseball when we took the steroids out, and now people come to a game, and it's like pitch and catch, pitch and catch. Don't want to watch that. Smack the game out, and then do a little jive, Go around the bases. Show out. If you ain't showing out, you ain't got nothing to show.
Did you say do a little jive?
Do a little jive.
Wow. I think
little soft shoe, Marvin. Little soft shoe.
I
show that watermelon.
Oh, wow. I think the biggest issue, and I think Voice of God can attest to this, the loss of steroids, when you take away those big bats and different things of that nature, but I think recognition in big name stars, especially within the African American community, I don't think there's a lot of enough support, just only with baseball fields and baseball equipment. It's harder to play baseball than it is for basketball, football, or even soccer for that matter, because you have to have a bat, you have to have a mitt, you have to have all these extra things compared to basketball where you just need a ball in the rim. Football, you just need a football.
A ball in a shopping cart, a ball in a crate.
Pretty much. And for soccer, all you need is a ball. So, financial resources putting into this. I know baseball is looking to increase their recognition, especially with the RBI programs and different things like that. But to me, you're losing those fans and all these unwritten rules that you talked about before. I don't know none of these rules. Bat flip, then you have a hit, then you have a 90-mile fastball toss at your head. For me, that's a license to get your beep, bleep kick. That's what that means to me. That's a license for me to call my boys, boo-doo-doo, yo, let's go talk to him after the game. Let's go meet him in the parking lot.
Boo-doo-doo. That's what your phone sound like?
Yep, boo-doo-doo.
That's what your phone sound like?
Yep.
Now, some of these countries out here can manufacture, a baseball game. A lot of these players out in Haiti, in Cuba, especially along, Central America, they make it work what they got, and they become great players. But baseball is losing on very, very, very great players because, again, not everyone has access to the equipment you're saying. But all in all, at least bring the entertainment back. If it's entertaining, people are going to watch, okay? So let them show out. We need to be able to relate to these players and see them. When people see Odell Beckham, what do they think about? They think about the whip. You know what I'm saying? Who can ever forget the Sharpie with T.O.? He's been done for a while. It's the little things, okay? Start here, and eventually people will come back. But if the ball is not flying out of the park like it was in the past, you gotta at least let the players get your attention back.
I agree with that.
We sport on deals, on court.
Marv, you chronicled how New York has so many things better than Kansas City. One thing that's up for debate is the NYPD. Okay, so back in April, Thabo Sefolosha, kind of underreported, got into it with some police officers. He was stopped and he was accused of something that happened that had nothing to do with him. Nightclub life, out late, dark skin. And he ended up breaking his leg. Also missed the Hawks run in the playoffs, and they got swept by LeBron and Cavs. So, your thoughts on that whole situation? Because now they said he was not guilty, and he's thinking about filing a little civil suit.
It's more than a little civil suit. $50 million towards the NYPD.
God damn!
But yeah, 50 million. But it wasn't just him. Peril Antich, his teammate, was there as well. That plays for the Hawks. But this has to be a precedent situation that's happening. For him to have his leg broken, him missing that playoff run, it affects his career in multi-million-dollar fashion. So for him to go out to sue the NYPD is a big statement. It's a very huge statement that he's making.
Agreed. Part of the statement being that you can't just walk around and do what you want and think that there's no repercussions for it. Now, granted, that may be the notion, what everyone thinks, because that's what we see. We see people die in the streets, and again, not all cops are bad, just like not all white people are bad, not all black people. No, a certain segment of cops. But the stigma for NYPD and LAPD, probably two of the worst stigmas in there in terms of cops. Who can forget NWA, forget the police?
Thank you for cleaning that up, Ty. But it's a little bit different because Thabo is from Switzerland. His father is from South Africa, so he's not someone that was born in the United States as an African American. But with him being a black male in the United States, he's still facing racism. He's still facing the things as if he was born in the United States. So it was interesting to see that he was filing that civil suit because he could have easily went to his home country in Switzerland and not had to do anything about it. But for him to step up to say that, this is unacceptable and this is how you fight it, to go through the legal system and go through the courts, and like I said before, to set a precedent about, if the police are going to do this and handle this inappropriately, well, this is the civil suit that's going to cause people to get paid out, and this should be the determining factor of how things need to be changed moving forward, whether that's through policy, administration, or other avenues. But this is some of the things that's going to happen in order for that to be changed moving forward.
You said he was Swiss, right?
Yes.
Well, the man looked black to me, okay? So back in the day, if you had the one drop rule, for people who weren't aware, if you had one drop of Afro-American blood in you, you were colored, okay? So just like Kanye West said, even if you in the bins, you're still a black person in the bins, okay? You're gonna get treated the same way just like the rest of us. Now, I'm not saying that to kind of poke fun at Thabo because, again, he is taking a stand here, but it is what it is. You fit the description.
Yeah, I mean,
We know what the description is.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, well, he definitely fits the description. And you know, the running joke on here is between 4'9"
and like
7'5".
7'2". Who can forget? You know, it is political season, campaign season. I saw a video of a Donald Trump rally, and there was a black guy in the front, like, "Ooh, Trump, Trump!" And then Trump walked right by him. He was like,
Yeah.
We sport on deals, on court.
Let's kind of call into question the media. You know, the sports reporting, but with TMZ, it's getting a lot of more personal stories. Mm-hmm. What do you have to say about the media and the way they've reported on this story? Because it's kind of been more so under the covers.
For something like this, I think it needs to have more attention towards it, because this is a professional athlete that is dealing with racism. A couple of months ago, James Blake had to go through the same situation where he was coming out his hotel room and was going to the U.S. Open, and cops just threw him down to the ground, and because of mistaken identity. And like I said, the running joke that we normally have is, well, what is mistaken identity? But everybody knows that what happened was wrong. And we see these cases over and over and over and over again. But what are we going to do about it? And that's the biggest thing. How do we go about changing action moving forward? And the way that James Blake is handling it, because I think he has a civil suit out right now, and the way that Thabo Sefolosha is handling it, because he has the civil suit that's potentially coming out, are the areas and are the ways to handle these situations that the media needs to talk about more, that needs to be portrayed about what's going on and what's happening.
I would argue that the media is doing this correctly, okay? This is what the media does. This is what we do. You put something out there, if people read it, they read it. If they don't read it, they don't read it. So it's about what's going to get clicks, okay? So if people do their due diligence and write an article on it, it's not up to them if people don't read it or not. People are going to be more interested in what's going on with Johnny Manziel in Cleveland, what's going on with Lamar Odom and Khloe Kardashian. So the information is out there. Just like, hey, if you want to be a billionaire, there's a bunch of books and studies and things that you can do to do what you got to do. If you want to be an investment specialist, you could take a class, you could do all this, but the question is, will you?
I mean, it's not about the question of will, it's about the question of the narrative. And what is the narrative that's being portrayed out there?
I believe the narrative is out there, is what I'm saying. I think the narrative's out there.
I don't think so. I think the things that are portrayed out there, you know, between, like you said, the Kardashians, Empire, and all these other things, all these negative things that's being portrayed out there. When something like this happens and you see the silver lining about he's doing it in a positive, nonviolent, legal manner, I think that should be the narrative that not only people, but especially African Americans that are going through this situation should talk about.
We sport on deals, on court.
And dealing with race relations here, just in America, it's about respect. And if you don't respect that certain individual, then how can you go on and live with that particular individual? I understand that a lot of people don't like the Black Lives Matter movement or the Black Lives Matter rallies and different things like that. But I challenge people to go see one, or I challenge people to go get more information about it so they know, look, I don't agree with it. I might not even understand it, but I respect African American people more that are participating in this rally, because this is how they make them feel. This is how they portray the world that's going out there. And that's how you can continue to build better race relations within the United States as well.
We can't educate the world about race relations, because whenever we try to, they just throw it back in our faces. And they think a lot of people think, you know, we're looking for reasons, we're passing the buck on to someone else, we're blaming other people for problems. It's not rocket science. When you see wrong is wrong. When you see wrong, acknowledge it, say it's wrong, okay? So when people say, oh, Black Lives Matter, say, oh, well, all lives matter. That's like when I say, oh, this person got shot, you're saying, oh, well, that person, okay, right now I'm talking about this person, okay? So if you want to rally for that person, I bet I'll join you in that one as well. So, again, people just need to take a step back, okay? Not get so uppity. Everyone gets offended now in 2015, and just just read some of the articles. Don't believe everything you see in the TV. And again, another important piece, don't believe that all cops are bad cops, okay? There are great cops out there. Don't believe that every black person you see is trying to do something bad to you. Don't believe every white person is a crook or stealing or trying to do something bad, okay? It's that small percentage of folks that ruins for the rest of them. But some people get thrown out and exposed in a certain light more than others. And that kind of ties back to Black Lives Matter.
We sport on deals, on court.
Ty, you know what time it is.
I'm aware.
You know what time it is.
Ooh, sorry for this culprit, this victim.
These victims right here. It's time to add fuel to the fire because we don't need no water. Let that bleep, bleep, burn. And this week we start off where, Ty?
The University of Minnesota.
Unfortunately so, our alma mater.
Everyone calling for the head of Mitch Leitner. Coach Kill in a very emotional press conference, stepping down as head coach. And where do we end up on Saturday night? We end up with Michigan. Hail, Big Blue, Michigan. At the 1 yard line, Minnesota ready to punch it in. Leitner got in the Gophers down to the 1. Damn it, to the 1. And what? I mean, he just runs off like 10, 12, 13 seconds with the timeout and end up having to go for it on 4th down and get stuff. All that dreaded 1 yard line. I'm sorry. Marv, this is the most school spirit I've had probably since I graduated. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Look, it was on Halloween.
Oh, my goodness.
Some of the students on campus probably were on suicide watch. We're just joking, but we did have to keep sharp objects away from a lot of people, Abdul. But it was probably one of the worst play calls I've probably seen in a long time. Not only did they not call the timeout, the quarterback sneak was horrible. The formation types and everything was horrible. Everything about that play was just bad.
Now, before they started shifting, I was thinking, you got Mitch, he's a big body, sneak it. I was like, sneak right away.
But you run it twice.
They could have ran it twice if they didn't start doing all that shifting, okay? So it was all the movement. They try to get too fancy with it, okay? Don't get you're Minnesota, okay? You're Minnesota. No disrespect. Just punch it in. Just punch it in.
It kind of reminds me of when Voice of God used to play for the Gophers. That seems like something that they would do.
We sport on deals, on court.
But transitioning over to college football, we have the Final Four. That still has like
Final
Four.
Asterisk.
That's out. But college football playoff rankings have came out. Clemson at number 1. LSU, that would be LSU. Go Tigers at number 2. Ohio State, followed by Alabama. Then Notre Dame, Baylor, Michigan State, TCU. Ty, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I think it's kind of awesome. I'm not being a hater. I think it's awesome that a number 1 team cannot look like a number 1 team per se and be moved back, okay? We've seen the way Ohio State's played, not to mention what's going on with the quarterback. LSU love in there. Clemson, these guys came out of nowhere in terms of team I feel sorry for. Baylor, who knows what Baylor, the writing was on the walls for Baylor, man. They could have did some damage, but they lose their quarterback. I mean, they're going to still score points in that conference.
Yeah, the quarterback has a broken neck. But the team that's being TCU is being disrespected.
That's a valid point. Again.
TCU's being disrespected again. And you know what's going to come? The Big 12 not going to have nobody in the Final Four again. No championship game? Well, y'all not going to get it until y'all get one. Message. But to me, the best team I've seen so far this year has been Clemson. I mean, they put the beat down on.
I knew it was coming.
They put the beat down on the.
Get some new material.
Hey, look.
Get some new material.
They beat them 58-0, Ty. Never have the University of Miami has ever lost like that.
Brad Kyle went down.
Never. And the worst part about it is, they did like the school rouser at the end, and Al Golden couldn't even raise his head. He was just like,
Hey, Miami came back and won the next week.
A whole bunch of questionable calls on that one too.
We sport on deals, on court.
Let's move to the league, to the National Football League.
Gosh.
There is a rash of injuries on Sunday. Bush, Le'Veon Bell, Steve Smith, I already said Bush, so I'm going to say it again because
Keenan
the way
Allen.
it happened. Keenan Allen, what was the biggest injury? Oh, Forte. Who will get my man Matt Fortizzle? The reason why the Vikings won. Forte went down. What was the biggest injury for over the weekend?
Future Hall of Famer. I think he has a good chance to reach into the Hall of Fame. Probably a career ender. Steve Smith popping his Achilles. You know, that's an injury that a lot of people come back from, but has reoccurring. It reoccurs again. So Steve Smith going down. And when you think of Steve Smith, you think of him as that pit bull. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So I think Steve Smith. Plus, the Ravens have no other receivers to throw it to outside of Steve Smith. So.
No one. Steve Smith's done some good things. I like the pick because he is the heart and soul of that team, especially that lackluster offense.
That's being kind.
But again, I said their season was over with like 3 weeks ago. It is Le'Veon Bell, okay? You finally get Big Ben back. This is Big Ben, someone I said had a chance to win MVP this year. Everything's kind of clicking, and MCL tear. Serious enough that he's going to miss the rest of the season. And for a team that already struggled with whether or not they could even get a wild card, you lose to Cincinnati at home, and now you don't have your all-purpose back. So hopefully Ben can shoulder the load with Brown, but even if they make it to the playoffs, they don't have enough.
Yeah, true.
It hurts.
It hurts. True.
It hurts.
We sport on deals, on court.
True as well. Now look, I know a couple of weeks ago, no time is running out, I said that the Saints were done. I had a whole lot of people from the city of New Orleans come at me on Facebook just because your team was like 1-12. So they said that they're not done, and I got a whole bunch of who that. Now listen, I know they beat the Giants last week by 3, but they gave up 49 points, Ty. They gave up 49. They gave up 49 points. They needed a late field goal to still win, Ty. So I would like to take this time to say this. I was wrong about the Saints. I said that they were done last week.
Stop that talk. No,
let me say this.
Okay.
I said that they were done last week.
Okay.
And they're still done this week. I'm not changing my opinion. They still won't make it to the playoffs. I'm not going to change my vote just because who that won a couple of games against a couple of lackluster teams. Y'all must be crazy. And I wish I would get any more invites and any more messages about Who Dat Nation. Why don't you take Who Dat Nation and win a whole bunch of games? How about that?
NFC, in that division, Panthers 7-0.
7-0.
Falcons, one-loss team. Falcons 6-1.
6-2. They lost. They kind of lost. They lost.
They did. No,
Yeah, they lost last week.
Okay.
No, their second loss.
The NFC West, okay, you guys aren't making the playoffs. But, hey, Breezy, man, we see you, man.
Yeah, exactly so.
Still good to be seen. Thanks for watching. That's all we have for this edition. But before you're done, don't forget, like the video, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Just share it all over social media.
Exactly so, exactly so. So for myself, Marvin Banks, Thunder, voice of God up there. Whatever that was. And for Thabo Sosina, signing off.
Trey's up.
Man, I can't believe these bums in New Orleans actually posted. Ride
with Phirst Contention, that's full throttle in. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Game face grit, like born for playoffs. Say it all in small time like payoffs.